Hi guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, hi, my name's Eva and I'm a mortgage power planner. Now just a quick life update. If you have watched some of my previous videos, you'll know that I had an exam coming up. So the exam actually took place in February and I've received my results yesterday and I'm happy to say that I've passed. So I am officially level 4 qualified in financial advice, which is amazing. Obviously all of my videos are not financial advice. They do not aim to give you financial advice, as you should definitely always speak to a professional rather than just going off YouTube videos, as everybody's circumstances are a lot different. So it's important to speak to a professional about your particular needs and requirements. So yeah, just wanted to disclaim that. But yeah, I'm qualified. Woo! Anyways, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the 5% deposits. So I have already made one video about this. However, with the recent budget announcement, I thought I'd do a video on the kind of frequently asked questions around the 5% deposits, as the government still hasn't provided that much clarification on it. However, as an insider, I've managed to pull up some information that I can now share with you as well, just so you guys can get prepared for this and know what's in store. But before we jump into the video, if you could hit that like button, that would help me massively, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything, so please support my channel by liking this video. And if you're not already subscribed, feel free to join the family by subscribing to my channel to see more of my content, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. But without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So you know I was saying the kitty's going to make an appearance in some of my videos. I'm currently trying to film and she's sat on the chair. Oh, smile for the camera, girl. Someone tired. Someone tired. Oh, baby girl. Baby girl. So let's just start off with by explaining how this 5% deposit scheme is going to work, because it's nothing like the Help to Buy schemes that we are used to. So with this one, buyers will be able to put down only a 5% deposit, with the rest of the property, so 95% of it, being funded by a mortgage. So the government isn't actually putting any money towards the purchase of your house. Instead, what they're doing is they're guaranteeing the lender that if for whatever reason you default on your payments, the difference between, you know, the 80 or 85% and the 95% is covered by them. So they will give the lender the money back if that's required. So in effect, from your point of view as the borrower, you're borrowing 95% of the property's value. So do bear in mind that that's going to make your monthly repayments higher than if you were to put down a bigger deposit. So what are the questions that I get asked? So number one is, who can actually benefit from this scheme? So this scheme will be available to any home buyer, so whether it's first time buyers or a home mover. So if you've already got a property and you're looking to move, you can also benefit from this scheme. So it may allow you to buy a slightly more expensive house if that's what you're looking for. You've obviously got your normal affordability checks that will take place as well to determine how much you can actually borrow. But ultimately, it's available to anyone who is looking to purchase a house up to the value of £600,000. So quite a broad range, and it should cover at least 80% of the property market, which is really good. Now, another very common question I get asked is, when is this scheme actually going to come into play? And that's a very good question, and we have now been given an answer. So the major banks such as your Barclays, HSBC, NatWest, they've all announced that they're going to start the scheme next month, so in April. So from April onwards, they are going to introduce the 95% mortgages. So yeah, you'll be able to purchase home with only a 5% deposit from next month. So if you are planning to buy a house, please speak to an independent mortgage advisor, such as the one that I work with, as they'll be able to talk you through the process and find you the best deal. Now, in terms of the interest rates that we reckon are going to be put in place place for 95% mortgages. Now, this is only speculation as we've not seen any products as yet, so this is purely my speculation. But I do think the interest rates are going to be higher than your 85 and 90% mortgages. So I am expecting it to be closer to the 4% mark. However, as I say, I've not seen any product yet, so I cannot comment on what the interest rates are actually going to be until next month when they're actually come in. Now, when does this scheme end? This scheme will only run until December 2022. So if you are looking to buy a house with a 5% deposit, you will need to do so before December 2022. Now, the government may look to extend that. I don't know. Nobody knows. But as it stands, it is only there until December 2022. So what's the reason for the government actually introducing this scheme? And the main thing is the government wants more people to buy rather than rent. I'm not sure whether you're aware, but the buy-to-let market, especially recently, has been made a lot less attractive to investors, you know, with higher taxation, with additional stamp duty, all of these things. It's actually made it a lot harder for people to become landlords, and also being a landlord isn't as easy as people think, because unfortunately there are really bad tenants out there. And I don't know whether you've watched the various programs on telly about like landlords and tenants, but you can clearly see on there how difficult it could be to actually try and get your money back out of them if they stop paying rent. But that's not what this video is about. Anyways, the government basically wants more people to buy rather than rent, and they want to make it easier for people to get onto the property ladder, because they do realise how difficult it is nowadays with the property prices rising quite drastically. However, the average wage is not rising in line with that. So that's why, a lot of people cannot actually afford to buy their own place, which isn't great. And that's primarily due to the property prices being high and them not having a high enough income to be able to afford that purchase price. Now, would I personally recommend going for the 5% deposit? See, that depends. For one, this is not a recommendation as such, and this isn't to be taken as advice. However, I personally would encourage people to save up a bigger deposit. I would always encourage people to save up at least 10%, obviously if they're able to, just because you then run a lower risk of going into negative equity, whereby the outstanding mortgage is actually more than what the property is worth. Now, I know I've mentioned that property prices are rising, which they are. However, certain things can affect individual properties and actually lower the value. If there's a risk of flooding, certain properties may have not flooded in the past, but they may flood in the future. And if they do, their value will fall right down in a matter of hours. So yeah, it's very important to consider your options, really. I know a lot of you want to get onto the property ladder, and if you're only able to save a 5% deposit, and if you find the house that you really want to buy and you do only currently have a 5% deposit, then by all means, go for it. Why not? If the scheme is there to be used, then definitely take advantage of it, but don't use it as an excuse to just spend money on other things. Continue to save as if you were saving for a higher deposit, because that money will come in handy, whether it's to pay for all the legal costs or whether it's to do up the property once you actually buy it. So yeah, don't use this as an opportunity to go wild, is what I'm saying. But personally, I do think it is a good scheme. It really is, because as I say, it's going to help a lot of people, especially first time buyers and younger people. It's going to help them to get onto the property ladder sooner than they would have been able to otherwise. And of course, if you're renting, it's going to make it a lot harder to actually save money for a deposit. So yeah, I do think it's going to benefit a lot of people. But as I say, personally, I would always encourage people to save more, as it does put you in a much safer position. Bless her, I'm trying to film and she just won't leave my side. What a little cutie. So I think I've covered the majority of the frequently asked questions around the 95% mortgages. Obviously, if you do have any further questions, please pop them in the comment section down below and I'll be more than happy to answer them. But ultimately, yeah, it's definitely a great scheme, but just be careful and just don't go for properties that you may not be able to actually afford on a monthly basis. And you're going to hate me for this, but I am going to mention the dreaded B word, budget. Figure out how much you can realistically afford on a monthly basis when it comes to your mortgage payment, as that to me is a better indication of how much you should actually borrow, and therefore what the purchase price range should be that you're looking at when buying a property. But as I say, if you've got any further questions, by all means pop them in the comment section down below and I'll get back to you. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed, as it really helps me to grow and reach a wider audience. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys back on Friday with a brand new video. Bye guys. Is that a wrap, kitty? That's a wrap, isn't it? Bye guys.